episode of Little Grit Garage. Today's episode, we're going to be seeing if I can fix my friend's mini bike. Now this thing has a lot of issues. First of all, it does not even run. We don't know why yet. Could be fuel, could be spark, who knows what it could be. This has a performance carburetor on it, performance air filter. It looks like an adapter thing. It's got a homemade bottle thing because this snapped. So I think we're gonna try to hook this up to get that working. There's quite a bit of issues with this thing. The rear tire is extremely sketchy. It just pops back and forth. There's 1,000 spacers on it. You guys can see right there. There's at least 15. And I think we need to put some on the other side. Yeah, it doesn't look the best, but that'll keep it from sliding back and forth. And then he wants me to completely strip this thing and paint it his favorite color, which is candy red. And I'm also going to be throwing on probably a chain for him. I'm not 100% sure yet. And then just rigging this up so that it's at least rideable. But we're going to first just see if we can get it to start, just pulling on it a few times, messing around with it. And then we'll really start digging into this thing, paint it, actually get it running nice and all that stuff. So I'm just going to pull it over a few times. I don't know which one's which. I think, yeah, this is on because, yeah, so we're on, ignition on right now. Kind of good. As you can see, does not want to fire. We could try with choke. Without choke. We could do with throttle. Let's get this up a little bit more. It is not wanting to fire at all. And we can even try the other position. Will not fire. Just got the spark plug all cleaned up. I got that thing bent back up. Got it as straight as possible and then sandpapered pretty much all the spots that make contact. So now I'm gonna go find the right socket for this thing and then we're gonna throw it in there. All right, that's in. Boot is on. Let's see if it'll fire up. Ignition is on. Still does not sound like it wants to fire up. Well, I guess we could take that back out and see if it even is getting spark. Because it does, but it doesn't sound like it is. So, get this out really quick. Just got the spark plug out. I'm gonna pop it into there. Now I'm gonna see if we even have spark. Watch for just a blue. Watch for a blue spark. Oh yeah, we're getting good spark. So that isn't our issue, which is nice. So now that it still won't start after checking the spark plug, that clearly isn't the issue. We're gonna pop off this fuel line and see if it's even getting fuel. All right, let's see if we're even getting fuel. One thing I have noticed is there's fuel leaking out of the cap, which I don't know if that's affecting it. Oh, it definitely looks like there's fuel in there. Actually, I can tell there is fuel in there. I can't find a drip pan or anything, so I can't really pull it, but you can see that little bubble in there. There is fuel in here, and you can even see it seeping through. So maybe carburetor just needs tuned up or something. I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to look up a good tune for this, and then we'll see if it'll fire. Before we tune it, I say we see if it'll fire up by spraying something in there. So we're just gonna give it a nice little spray. We're gonna hold it wide open, close it. maybe it wants more. Just sprayed some more into it. See if it'll fire up now. Hey, it actually started. Nice. So we are getting good spark, clearly. So it could be a fuel issue. Because it only started once I got that going in there. So let's try that one more time. Let's see if we can keep giving it throttle and see if it'll just start running on its own without any of this. So it does not want to run on the fuel that is in it, clearly. It's only running when I give it some brake cleaner here. So I'm not sure what the issue could be here. I'm going to look up this carburetor right here, and I'm going to see how to tune it. I'm going to see which one's idle, which one's fuel, air mixture, and all that. And I'm going to tune this thing up. It clearly seems like it needs more fuel. So I'm just gonna give it a lot of fuel and see if it'll start running on its own fuel, and then we can tune it to actually run nice. So I'm gonna go look it up really quick, see what is what, and then we'll see if we can get this thing to idle. All right, so I cannot figure out the issue with this mini bike so far. It's getting spark. It's clearly a carburetor issue in my opinion. This thing, I don't know what it's called, so I can't look up how to tune it. So I have this old carburetor here that should work for this. And I know that this is a performance carburetor and it adds power and this isn't, but you know, at least you get to run it, you know? So I think we're gonna take this off and then see if it'll run. Well, I just swapped the carburetors. I'm draining out the fuel right now, so I can plug it into this carburetor. Yeah. There we go. That's a nice carburetor and a big carburetor. I think this is a 22, he said. But this looks way bigger than a 22. Which that easily could have been the issue. I don't really remember when he said it started to not work. I'm assuming that it started to not work when he put this carburetor on it. How much gas is left? There was not much in here. Oh, yeah, that's easier. All right, so throttle's right there. Gas on. Gonna move this. Now it is time to see if it'll fire up. I did not think that was gonna work. Like, seriously. That is awesome. Not expecting that at all. So after a lot of work of taking stuff apart, that jet is not going to work. It's too long, so this bowl does not fit on it. So sadly, we're gonna have to figure something else out. I think I have an extra jet from that go-kart stage 1 kit. Something that's a little concerning though. Don't know if this is a mouse nest or I don't know, but that was just piled up under here. So now I can put this back on. I think it just gets pressed on once the carburetor goes on it. And then I'll go see if I have a different jet we can put on the carburetor. And then strip everything down and paint this thing. Alright, after a little bit of digging in this random box, I found a different jet, and I believe it's smaller. Which I think smaller makes it run richer. I honestly don't know. I've never done this. So if it doesn't, then guess what? We just swap a different one onto it. Where? Here it is. Uh-oh. Oh, never mind. Never mind. I thought it didn't fit for a second. I got a little nervous. All right, that's on. Float's still floating. Twist this thingamadoo-dab on there. Yeet. That's tight. Now we can slide our bolts back in. I also put new bolts on it, these long boys. And then slide it through here, like that. What is happening right now? There we go. All right, now we're gonna screw this back in and see if a smaller jet makes it leaner, because again, I have no idea. I would assume so, because a smaller jet would let less fuel pass through, but I have no idea. It could be opposite somehow. I really hope this carburetor is not just broken and it still runs rich, because trust me, if I try every single jet I own and it still runs rich, the way this carburetor runs when it's running rich, this thing probably won't even move, honestly. It would hardly rev up. Right here is the throttle. We're gonna have to figure that out, but it wouldn't even, I could crack it wide open and it'd just start popping pretty much, blowing out black smoke. Moment of truth. Still don't know if that's good enough. I still feel like it's running too rich. And why is there smoke coming out of, ooh. Is there supposed to be smoke coming out of the carburetor? That's fine. So yeah, I still don't know. I might have to go look for an even smaller one, because I can't tell if that made it run richer or leaner. And also this exhaust, it is not liking this exhaust. He said that he actually made this custom. He cut it really short so it sounded like that. Sounds awesome, makes it run horrible. It pops and backfires and doesn't want to rev up almost the whole time. So I don't know what we're gonna do about that. No idea. But like I said, it's still better than nothing. It still runs. Well, I don't have any smaller jets, which is a big bummer. So it is running pretty rich. So I'm not sure what I'm gonna do about that. But if you think about this, before it didn't even run. At least it can ride it now. I say now that we just did all that hard work, we take it all apart so we can paint it. really nervous too because there's a lot of parts to this. Lots. I don't even know how half this works. This should be fairly easy, but still not easy, if that makes sense. I'll paint this black for him again, this nice bar here. Get rid of this switch, because that does absolutely nothing now, unless it's NOS injection, but it ain't. He said he wants it candy red, which is a very nice shiny candy red. I think it'd look pretty nice. I don't know though. Well, I guess I'm gonna take a few pictures of it with the GoPro because I'm not gonna remember how any of this goes back together. And then I'll just start tearing random things apart until we have like 8 pieces of frame with nothing on them. And then paint them. I don't know if I mentioned this. He got this for free, literally. This mini bike was sitting on the side of the road with the free sign for somebody to come take. When he got it or picked it up, it did drive. The chain was still on it and stuff, but chain snapped and then he wanted to upgrade it and then carburetor messed up. I don't know how we're gonna do this because I was thinking, yeah, we could easily get it to do like this. One, that'll be annoying, but then that's full turn left, which is what I'm main concerned about with the slack we have, but then full throttle turned left, it does not reach. So I'm gonna have to order one of those too, probably. So I'll bring the camera closer. His rear brake slides in and out of the rim while you roll it. Say, get it stripping this thing down now. It's gonna be a lot of work, but it's gonna look really nice. Well, after a lot of work, finally have everything taken off except for the engine. We're just gonna wrap that up and paint around it. But this is all the stuff that I've taken off. Fender, seat, front rack, brake, axle, front tire, pegs, chain tensioner, other axle, brake, rear tire, and then obviously the frame. So now I think I'm gonna wrap up that engine and then we can finally go paint this thing up and give it a new look. I'm also gonna have to wrap these up because I honestly don't know how to take these off and they're still in perfect condition. So we're just gonna leave them how they are. I'm gonna tape up this because that's pretty important, and then everything else is just going over with. I'm also gonna rinse it down with the hose really quick, get all the grease and stuff off, but I'm gonna wrap that up, go wash it off, and I'll see you guys when we're gonna paint it. All right, we're ready to throw on some paint. Got the engine wrapped up, got it on this sketchy little thing to roll it around. We're gonna go paint this thing up. Well, after a long time and a whole bunch of work, Bailey helped me with a few things like getting the tires on. It is finally time to take off some of this stuff, and then it's done. Get these off. Whole bunch of tape on these. Just take a second. Well, we finally finished it after a long time and a lot of hard work. Got all the brakes zip tied up so it all looks nice. We're gonna fire it up to see if I didn't mess up any of the electrical or grounds, but this thing looks really nice. That paint was more of like a gloss and like made it kind of look like patina. You see there, it kind of just coated over all the other stuff. We also painted up that rack and tried to clean up the wheels. And like I said, it's running pretty rich, and there's still a few things it's missing, like throttle cable and chain, but we got it running, we painted it all, cleaned it up, so it looks really nice now. And let's see if it runs really nice. It does still run rich, but let's see if it'll even start the fuel on. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. I had a lot of fun doing this. I'm not going to charge them anything. I told them that I'd charge them a little amount because, you know, stripped everything down, did all that work, pretty much gave them a free carburetor. But I had a lot of fun doing it, and I hope you guys had a lot of fun watching it. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you on the next episode.
Get some.